Awesome, awesome, awesome. Katrina, you can just start us off a little song and dance as we build our audience here. Hello and welcome everyone. A very exciting thing that we're doing here this Valentine's week at the Wildcat Sanctuary. So much is done here at the Wildcat Sanctuary on a daily basis, and it's not happening in a vacuum. It's done by real life people. And this week we are looking forward to highlighting the staff members who make what we call living well at heart possible for 140 plus rescues. So I have Elyse and Katrina here, two of our animal caretakers. And I say staff members because we're actually going to be hearing from not just our animal caretaking staff, but also this week we're going to be hearing from our facilities crew, and it all obviously comes together to make a day at the Wildcat Sanctuary possible for our rescues. So here we are, we're ready to feature our big cats and bigger hearts falling into love with the TWS staff. Elyse and Katrina, why don't you two formally introduce yourselves, give your first name and where you are from.
I'll go first.
I can go first, yeah.
Hold it if you want.
Oh. I'm Katrina, and I am originally from Minnesota. So I've lived here pretty much my whole life.
Minnesota gal.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Elyse?
Well, I am Elyse. I'm a senior caretaker clinic coordinator here, and I'm originally from Wisconsin area. Kind of moved around a little bit, but here I am now in Minnesota. I've been here the past 11 years.
Well, and the cats are better for having both of you, and obviously our supporters know how important you two and all of our caretakers are to the day-to-day well-being of our cats, the proactive care that goes in our cats. Obviously, Elyse, you're involved a lot in the hospital. But just so everybody knows what we're getting into today, we're going to be very simply doing an interview, learning more about Elyse and Katrina, their job here. I have a fun little Newlywed-style game that we're going to be doing towards the end of the interview, so I'm hoping everyone will stick around for that.
Call us out like that.
Well, I think it'll be fun. I think there'll be lots of laughs, and another thing, you'll probably see some of the Highlander hybrid kind of coming into the interview and joining us here as well. So cats all around, we'll be talking cats, and most importantly talking about the people who care for the cats. So let's get started. And Elyse, why don't you begin and just help people understand what your job is here at the Wildcat Sanctuary?
A lot, actually. I mean, I've been here for a while, so my job has actually kind of evolved. I do tend to float more now. I help a lot with the hospital, so doing also training, teaching others to kind of help step up into that hospital role when I'm not here, because of course I get days off too, and having more people trained up is even better for the cats, so that somebody doesn't have to come in, somebody's already there helping. But for me, on a daily, I usually step in, kind of help where people have, like I said, time off. I do some of the cleaning, but a lot of training with the cats, with the staff, and then making sure also all the fun stuff, following protocols and helping maintain those and cleanliness in the facility, and of course working with these lovely guys who are all over our table here. Yeah,
there's a lot to be done in a day, and all the hard work is certainly defrayed by having moments like this with the little cats to fill our cup. And and that's right, Elyse. You're wearing a lot of hats. Obviously, letting everyone. It was 8 years that you've been here.
No, this will be my 11th.
11, excuse me, I'm totally way off.
Yeah, April will be my 11th, but I've been doing animal care for 14. So I did work at a couple zoos before I came here. Way back, I know what's your year now? How long have you been here?
This is about 3.5, including my internship.
Yeah.
Good.
So I remember feeling back there where Katrina is, and it's hard to remember all that stuff and all the changes and what you know when you're bringing.
Well, and it's cool, and I think, we're commending you for elevating your, being able to earn yourself a managerial role, kind of like you're talking about, and being able to do some training, be able to impart some of the wisdom you've learned onto other caretaking staff like Katrina. So that's wonderful for everyone to hear that.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Katrina, we would love to hear a little bit more detail about what is your position here, and maybe who are some of the cats you work with, to give some of our followers an idea of some of the faces you're seeing on a daily basis.
Yeah, so I'm a caretaker 1, so we do the daily ins and outs. I feed, clean, spray down, did a lot of shoveling because we have a lot of snow right now.
And what are some of the animal buildings that you're servicing, Katrina?
So I'm currently with Cougar Cove, Cattail Creek, Roar Ridge, and Feline Meadows. So I see all of the cougars, Lucy, Pandora, Buddy the Bobcat, Noah and Elizabeth.
You get lots of Lucy moos throughout the day, I can imagine.
Lucy moos. I really love Lucy. Really grew on me when she came. She's a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm. How could she not be? Immediately invade her way into all of our hearts here.
She's quite the gal. She's a talker, that's for sure. She's a lover. She's very funny when you feed her because she is so obsessed with you that you put the food and she's like, but I love you instead. Some of the cats, they love their food, but Lucy loves her people.
Well, and also, Katrina, there's a variety of species in your zone of, I'm thinking about Roar Ridge. You have, Beauty right across the way from Lucy, who we're talking about, who's a tiger. Beauty's the Eurasian lynx. Cattail Creek, bobcats, cougar Anastasia there in Cattail Creek as well. So it's definitely kind of a large, variety of species that you're out there servicing here on a daily basis and caretaking for.
There's quite a few different ones.
It is. Well, sweet, and I'm also kind of laughing to myself, and I'm going to interject on us and welcome everyone. If you're just joining us, we are so happy to be featuring the TWS staff members who make a Wild Heart possible here for so many. This whole week, we're going to be doing caretaker interviews, or staff member interviews, with exactly what I said, the people who do so much to help our rescues here every day. We're here with Elyse and Katrina, and we've been doing a little kind of introductory questions, and now we're looking forward to jumping in the interview. But I am laughing, Elyse and Katrina. You guys are both caretakers. What are our microphones attached to here?
Hog ring pliers.
Hog ring pliers. These are a tool that are even familiar to an intern who have come through the Wildcat Sanctuary for only 6 months. But certainly, I'm sure we'll maybe cross some kind of construction or habitat upkeep type questions as we go on with our interview here. I think it would be great, Katrina. Let's start with you. Very simply, what do you enjoy most about working with the cats on a daily basis?
The thing is that I love working with the cats is obviously the cats themselves. I think it's nice to be able to have such a variety of different species that we get to work with and such different personalities. I really like working with the ones that are a little bit shyer, on the shyer side, a little bit more difficult. It's really rewarding when you get to see the changes that occur with many of our residents that come maybe a little bit more shut down or they're wild born. I really like working with some of those cats that need a little bit more love and a little bit more attention.
And we have plenty of those.
Yes, yes we do.
Well, and that's definitely fulfilling, Katrina. And I always kind of like to think, and we'll see it in the comments of our followers just on a live post are able to kind of identify that type of a release of when they get to see our cats, and obviously you're here caring for them, boots on the ground every day, and developing that relationship with them. But that's nice to hear that maybe there's a parallel. It's just being able to see that cat and kind of refill your cup, and knowing that maybe that cat was in a different place when it first came here after rescue, and all the work that you've done, and obviously our followers being able to see that type of progress too. Really goes a long way. So that's wonderful to hear. Elyse, what about you? What do you enjoy the most about your day here at the Wildcat Sanctuary?
A lot of similarities to what Katrina said. I would say
Pass the
hot ring pliers. Very intimate with these. I really do enjoy all the personalities of the cats, like depending on which area, because I do get to float a little more. So say if I'm over in one, I always enjoy getting ready to see Mondovi's little spin that he does before he goes to the lockout. It's just those little things that kind of fill your cup during the day that you see of their personalities. Or right after it snows, most of our lions are like, I'm not touching that, get up here and shovel. Where the tigers are just barreling through it and the lynx are out sleeping in it. So just kind of that variety of personalities is just fun. And of course the Highlanders are screaming and catty of town if you're there. It's just the variety you can have when you move to different areas of animals, the shy ones that have it, the really outgoing ones, the Lucy's.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I just think that's just something that's so true, is that, as we say, is that all of our cats have personalities. They all have little quirks like you're describing. And I'm sure, I know all of us in the room have animals at home, and we know our personal animals at home have those quirks and little things we can identify, but being able to see those patterns, and it may be being on a big cat scale versus what we see at home, is definitely fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's see. My next question here, I think also I'll go to Katrina on this one, since you've been here for a little less time, and Elyse, it'll give you a moment to think about it.
All right.
Since you've been here for a wonderful 11 years. But can you share the most memorable experience that you've had during your time here, Katrina? That could be participating in a rescue, it could be the intake of a new rescue, and kind of like you were describing of the process of helping pick that cat up by their bootstraps. What do you think?
Yeah, I think mine is probably all the work I did with DJ. It was a very special experience. Because when he first came, he was shut down, he was very shy, and he kind of remained that way. Axel was like the same way. And I remember one morning I was just feeding them. At the time we just fed them and left. And one time he just jumped down from the cat tree, and I don't know why he did.
And at least DJ was a Bengal rescue.
Bengal, yes.
Okay.
He just jumped down from the cat tree, and I kind of said, you know what? If you want to work, let's work. And I just started spending all my time there. I would stay after hours as an intern and would socialize and stuff. It took months to get him to where he was, but to then later, when I became staff and kind of wasn't in that zone so much, I would hear interns say like, oh, he's so friendly and he's like coming up. Or when Tammy had gone around once and was like, oh, he's coming up and like loving people. And when I brought Olivia over last year and stuff like that, hearing, he's so friendly, he's petting, he's looking for attention, I'm happy he can love others as well, but still hold that special.
And it's certainly kind of a congratulations to you, Katrina, of that's what it takes is really kind of honing in. And for a cat like DJ, who we knew was a little shut down when he came, like sometimes many of our Bengal rescues do when they're coming into this new life. And one of the other things, Katrina, that you mentioned is that he kind of helped or maybe flourished together with Bengal Axel, who and they now live together. Is it the Sky or Mellow Meow Suite?
Posh.
Suite.
Yeah, Axel took a little bit more work than DJ, but he came out of the bungalow a month after DJ, and then he started coming up for food and stuff too, and it was really nice to see both of them. I mean, Axel still does not like people as much, but to see the difference, like from when they started, they come down and eat from their bowls in front of people, and they have 3 lady friends, and it's really nice to see how much they've changed from when they both first came. Axel was actually, I think, the very first rescue that happened when I started.
Okay. Okay. Well, just like so many examples here at the sanctuary of how your care truly revolutionizes the lives of some of our rescues, I think that's a great example. So thanks for sharing that with Katrina, and most definitely should be held as one of your most valued experiences here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Elyse, what about you? After 11 years, what do you think?
Oh man, there's like so many. It's kind of hard to choose, I'm not gonna lie, because all the memories I have are as unique as the cats that we have. But there's some that of course stick with you a little bit more, and like Katrina was saying, sometimes it's real simple things. One of the cats that's not with us anymore, Nikita, getting a shot from her. She was she was aggressive while she was hearing things, but she came from a very abusive background. And so getting to see her enjoy enrichment when she used to just avoid us at all costs and had anger, and getting a rare chuff from her is something that kind of lets you know you're doing right. And it feels good, and it's one of those that stick with you.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, working with them and seeing them come around and all that stuff. And I've been on a lot of rescues, and sometimes people, you know, they like to hear, like, I won't say like dangerous rescues, but things that happen a lot or things are kind of crazy. But sometimes the real simple ones, like I always talk about Scarlett's, it was just because it was kind of one of the first ones I went where it was really just a pet in the house.
Mm-hmm.
She was under the kid's blanket, and I just kind of lifted the blanket, and we had the crate, and kind of just opened. Was like, "You want to go, Scarlett?" And she just hopped off the bed and walked right into the crate, and that was it. It was like 5 minutes, but it was kind of like, yeah, let's get out of here. I don't want to be here, you know, kind of thing. Just a lot of little memories, and of course, you know, she's working with Shazam from seeing where he was when I got here to what he is now. Like, that's a big one for me.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think it's cool for me, for the most part, or, you know, mostly it's so cool to see that some of the things that are most rewarding to you guys aren't instantaneous. So the you know, DJ coming around and becoming more social, Nikita, who we know, you know, was you know, very much reserved and almost antagonistic against people at times. And so I think that's just really something cool, and that I know that our followers are kind of valuing that. You know, it could be kind of a quick punch of a interaction that you had that was funny or cute, but there's a little bit more gravity to some of the things that you guys are really internalizing in your work here. So that's pretty cool to hear that.
Mm-hmm. And we have said a lot about the cats, but I have to say my time here just seeing the facility grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do have to add that. Like, you know, everybody that comes in now, and they see with the changes, but like, you know, besides Tammy, who's been here much longer than I obviously, you know, started it, like just seeing those changes and how we've grown and made things easier or try and improve, like that, you know, knowing where it was and where we are now.
It's pretty impressive how many like different buildings, how many different cats have come through, how many like different lives you've changed. Yeah,
that is, Katrina, and it's cool. You know, kind of Olivia's just out of frame, and very simply, it's us sharing everything that you guys are helping make possible, that our supporters are believing in, that we're able to make possible. So it's, you know, more kind of proof in the pudding for us today, it seems. Let's see. You know what, Elyse, I'll have you pick this one up. And how did you get here? What inspired you to start working with animals or big cats?
Actually, so I thought about being a vet. And then I looked at the schooling and how much time it was going to take, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then part of me, like after talking to people that were in the vet business and thing, not to like knock on that, I mean, we need our vets and they do amazing work, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for to be, I think. And then I didn't really plan on actually doing what I'm doing now. I went to school for environmental sciences with emphasis on land conservation and management. Hey. So I thought I was going to end up in watershed analysis or something like that. And I got an internship with down in Texas with the big cats and bears, and I really fell in love with the caretaking part, even though it was hot and grueling and, you know, all the gross stuff you have to clean up. It just kind of jived with me, and then I got my first position at a zoo and kind of moved around. I was hoping to end up here in the Midwest because that's where my family's from. Mm-hmm. So, and I kind of felt it just happened. Like I saw that there was an opening here and I applied, and I guess the rest was history after that. So
the rest is TWS history, as I like to say.
It wasn't planned. I didn't have necessarily a set path. It was just kind of how the water flowed and where I ended up. So
well, and we're better for it. So lucky us. What about you, Katrina? What's the path that led you here to the Wildcat Sanctuary? You mentioned you were an intern earlier.
Yes. So when I was growing up, I kind of like went through all the different, you know, careers as a kid. You want to be different things. Once I was in high school, I don't know what it is, but I fell in love with cats, big cats. I became obsessed. I went to the library and picked out every single book that I could on any big cat, and I read them all. And the library never got me one, so I rechecked them out and reread them. And I was just like, I actually originally wanted to work at AZA zoos, and my the degree that I got was very focused on AZA. It was general care, but like very AZA focused. When I was looking for internships, it was during COVID time, so it was kind of a struggle, but I
boxes being checked for
Indeed.
you. So, yeah. Well, good. That's wonderful to hear. And I, even when we're able to meet some of our supporters in some of our on-site events that we have during the year, and one thing that I just realize every day, and it even extends to our supporters, is just how much of animal lovers that our staff members are. It's the deepest, it's in their bones. So it's just really informative. I don't think anybody would have expected anything less for 2 animal caretakers to not love animals and now make a profession out of it. So, well, how about this? I want to ask maybe 1 or 2 more TWS-oriented questions, and then we're going to have kind of round it off with our fun little newlywed game.
All right.
So I think this is a good one, and I think it will help kind of inform some of the answers that you guys gave on some of your favorite moments here. So, Katrina, why don't you begin? How do you go by building? How do you start by building trust with the cat? What's your method to do that?
I think it kind of depends on the cat. So when you work, sometimes you get a blank slate. Like with DJ, nobody really else had worked with him, but then I've also, as you guys have heard, Snow and Storm, we're doing a lot of work with them. Snow and Storm already kind of had a foundation versus like DJ. So DJ, I kind of just read him. He wanted to come down, and I started spending time while feeding and just like with treats and just hanging out in the quiet knit times. Because a lot of times when we're feeding, things can be loud, things can be hectic. For a lot of our Shire residents, those quieter times are when they really shine. Like Anastasia really likes to come out at night, not so much in the morning and stuff like that. And so like for Snow and Storm, we go down not when Feline Meadows is fed in general, when it's loud, noisy, chaos. Like we go down later when it's more quiet, and then they can feel more comfortable
So
to
it
come
sounds
out.
like you're working on the cat schedule.
Yeah.
To really kind of start building that foundation of trust.
Yeah. Definitely when it's like, those Shire residents really like those quieter times and spending those evenings, like Anastasia, like a lot of times on my overnight rounds, I would like spend time, wait for her to come up and stuff like that. She doesn't always want to come out in the middle of the day. Like Snow and Storm, they ate by 12:30 today, which is
I
pretty
know,
impressive.
that's one thing I'm looking forward to, maybe working them into a feeding live post here. I don't want to put the carriage in front of the horse, but hopefully.
But
Hopefully that'd be amazing.
I was pretty impressed today. We drove around and they were done eating by 12:35, I think.
So if I'm understanding correctly, a big part of it obviously is understanding when the cat is going to be most comfortable. A cat like Anastasia, who we know mornings and evenings, so certainly getting on their schedule. Patience, we know, is a big part of it. And then I can imagine communicating with your fellow team members. Is that a part of the process, Katrina?
Yes. Teamwork makes the dream work. Like Snow and Storm was an entire staff together. Elise spent, I'll call her out since she's right next to me. Elise spent quiet time down with them. And then this summer, every single caretaker who had an overnight was feeding them, spending time down there. And then, excuse me, Lexi. and then from there, like we slowly were pulling back times, but like every single caretaker was involved with helping with this. So it's like, it's an entire staff thing. And then we were talking about it at status, and like we were making the communication known, like, hey, we're gonna start feeding Snow and Storm. Let's try them by 6:30. Let's try them by 5. Let's try them by 4:30. Let's try them by 4. We like last stats were like, they're doing really well. Can we do a howdy door? We got the howdy door in, and I communicated the cute videos. Blaze and either Snow or Storm can't tell because of the light, but they're spending time. But like all of the observations we put in and talking when somebody is going to cover your zone, like, hey, this is the work that I've done.
Yeah, it's
so we communicate to one another, and for a lot of these cats, we all touch them at some point, even if you aren't the primary one doing it.
Exactly. effect on them. And it's wonderful, I think, for everyone to hear of how, you're referring to cats that are in your zone. Well, we have PM caretakers who are going to be doing those med rounds, or, if you're out for a day or what have you. So yeah, obviously we're translating that, we're communicating, and so we're setting up, you've built the foundation to earn that trust, and now we're kind of building that structure to kind of guarantee and also make sure that other staff members can build that trust with the foundation you've created. Well, Elyse, we can hone it in a little bit. So how about this? How did you go about building trust with Nikita, the rescued white tigress who you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so it was hard to start because there wasn't like a good place to start, to be honest. So a lot of times, especially the ones that are very, very difficult, have my heart. Even I always say, I'm like, they don't have to love me. I just want them to like feel safe. I'll always love them. And I started with her. I decided, she needs it from like square one. And we had put her into the operant conditioning, and I wasn't the first one to start with her, but that was to kind of center her during feeding because she would roar, she'd jump up. I started spending some time with her, quiet time, to see where she would relax and see if I could move a little closer, but not like, always watching her or making it awkward. Because there is, you think someone's just staring at you all the time and they're going to come in or anything like that. But it took quite a while, and I stepped in for her opera conditioning and started working with her. So, of course, associating the positivity with food. But it's not always going to work when you bring something positive. So it took a while, and it was watching her cues, watching her triggers. I do a presentation for the opera conditioning stuff, and using that as a big key, because that's a really great way to do it, and establishing that neutral time, that you're not doing anything, you're just a body that's there, that's neutral. So there's a video, and I think that was back when you were still in.
I probably very much was an intern.
Yeah, with Nikita. There's a video of her. She loved paint, and it was. We struggled so hard to get her on camera playing with anything, because cameras were a big trigger for her. She would get very upset and stop. But she's outside, the grass is green, and it kind of just knew what you're doing works when she allowed me to be in that alleyway and she was focusing more on you, that you've kind of proved to them that you're not a threat. It doesn't mean that they're not watching you and they're not waiting for you to do something, but you've dropped on the totem of a stressor. And so it's where do you start? Well, the neutral time, but seeing if that's working, that right there told me that whatever I'm doing there is working, because I'm not for focus anymore.
Okay.
Like that. So it's a very long process that took months to kind of get there. It wasn't overnight. But.
Yeah, and it kind of is, like you mentioned, you're looking at a cat like Nikita. Nikita, maybe for those who are unfamiliar, Nikita was rescued from an infamous exploiter, a pay-to-play exploiter, who would punish Nikita for not behaving during these photo shoots by spraying her with a fire extinguisher, hitting her with a baseball bat, just a bunch of horrible, horrible things. Nonetheless, understandably so, she came here after her rescue, a little afraid, a little uncertain. I shouldn't say a little. She was very much afraid of humans and uncertain about life around her. And you being able to see that, Elyse, and knowing that you are having to kind of reach into your, caretaking bag of tricks, so to speak, and really just start at square one. Yeah, there's nothing fancy you can do. It is to go low and slow and build as much trust up as Nikita is willing to let us have with her. So.
Yeah.
And then being able to see moments like her, I know exactly the video of her painting, and she's enjoying herself. Yeah. She might come up and give you a little, roar, and then she's going to go back to enjoying herself. So maybe still that defensive Nikita, but doing it on her own terms, which was, nice to see.
Yeah, and feeling safe enough to play with the enrichment while we are present. That she doesn't have to get on guard and watch every single movement we're making. It shows that works. It's those little things that are great. So. Well, sweet. Yeah.
Well, sweet. I'm gonna ask the last question that has to do with you guys, and I think it'll be a fun and easy one, and then we're gonna do our little newlywed final section here. Katrina, if you could have any superpower to make your job easier here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, what would it be? Super strength? Would you fly?
Weather control.
Weather control.
I don't want more snow. I shoveled everything and it snowed all over my shoveling.
I didn't think of that. Of all, I was like, well,
See,
College nailed it.
I thought about it because we were talking about the questions, and it was my overnight last week, and it was snowing, and I said, what if I could control the weather? Because it snowed on my last 2 overnights. It made me kind of sad because I shoveled everything and I have to shovel everything again. So I had just gotten everything shoveled before my weekend, and then I came back after my weekend, and then it snowed on me. So
okay, that's a great answer, Katrina, and I think a lot of interns, staff members, we all could
yeah,
empathize
me and
with.
my interns were pretty tired after yesterday, and then the first thing we did this morning was shovel another yard.
That's a great choice, Katrina. Nice job. What about you, Elyse? What superpower is going to make life easier here at the Wildcat Sanctuary for you?
I mean, there would be so many, and if you asked me this a few years ago, my answer probably would have been different. But now that I do a lot of like hospital work and work with sick cats and trying to get cats to take meds or fluids when they're like, why? I don't understand. So honestly, being able to talk to them and ask them where it hurts, why do you hurt, getting those answers so that we can treat them
This is
better.
turning out to be my favorite question. Okay.
Yeah, those were, I mean, a few years ago when I was doing more of the caretaking stuff, maybe I would have said telekinesis so I can move stuff a little easier, but now, like, if I could just ask them, you know, where does it hurt? Like, why are you upset? Like, why are you not eating? So we could get that help better and faster, because as good as we try and our vets are, it's hard, because sometimes you can only go by what we find on blood work, and sometimes it doesn't show you anything.
Oh.
And being able to hear that, like when you go to a doctor, well, my leg is really bothering me, or, you know, I've got this pounding headache, or, you know.
Oh, I think that both of those are excellent excellent answers, rather. And to a more fun question, they both have some depth to them. So, so marvelous. Well, let's see here. I still think we're going to be able to hear ourselves through with your microphone if we just set it right here, you two.
All right.
But I'm going to have each of you take one of the whiteboards. And
No pressure.
Katrina, I see that you have a pen there.
Yes,
And Katrina, you are going to be answering the question about Elyse. Elyse is going to be writing down the answer.
Okay.
So please don't show each other what you're writing here. Actually, here's my little notepad here. Let's see. We'll start easy. What, or maybe easy. What is one thing that they can't live without? So, Elyse, you would be writing the answer.
I feel like.
Here's the thing. I sent you a meme about this morning, so.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this because I think this is probably what everybody would say.
Okay, alright, on 1, 2, 3, flip.
Yeah, coffee.
What is one thing Elyse cannot live without, and it is caffeine.
Yes,
Coffee.
please. I need
She always has a cup.
I do,
every morning.
And we have a lot of coffee drinkers here at the sanctuary, but I think Elyse gets to wear the crown.
She gets to wear the crown.
Queen coffee drinker. So
Everyone's been envying my coffee because it smells like Eggos or pancakes.
Ooh.
I have a French toast one, but whatever.
Okay, so that was one point. Good for you, Katrina. Nice job. Elise's favorite movie or television show?
Oh, I actually don't know what that is.
I'll get it.
I'm making a guess in my head. Elyse.
I have a feeling what you would. I'm gonna go ahead what I would feel like because we talked about it, but this is one of my favorite.
Oh no, that's.
I think one of my favorite franchises.
Elyse, I'll give you a tiny hint. Elyse is my science fiction buddy here at the Wildcat Sanctuary.
I have a lot of movies and stuff I like to watch. But,
And Katrina, no problem. You can give it a guess.
Just
That's the
give it a
fun
guess.
part about this game, is that sometimes we get it wrong.
What are you doing over there?
I know which genre she likes
I'll give you
to watch.
10 more seconds, Katrina.
I'm just gonna put the genre I know she watches. And we'll go with that.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, flip.
Alien.
Horror. Okay.
I do like horror, but I like the science fiction. Yeah.
Elyse and I bond over the Alien IP, and you were so smart enough to name the I'll say it, the badass female Lynx Ripley after Ripley, Sigourney Weaver from the Alien, exactly. So let's see here. Let's see. What is Elyse's favorite thing to eat at work? I think we already know that won't be an answer that will sync up. How about we'll do an easy one and then we'll maybe end with one that won't sync up. Who's Elyse's favorite cat?
Okay, well.
Oh boy. I feel like some of our viewers might get this one too.
I'm only imagining that it's popping up in the comments now.
I know, that's what I'm wondering.
There's another asterisk one below that.
I did, because I went with the one that.
Yeah, you went with the one.
And we will turn in 3, 2, 1.
Shazam.
And I don't think we'd expect anything less. Elyse, you have, as you mentioned, you have a tendency to gravitate towards those cats who are a little bit more spicy, as you often like putting. And Shazam, even though he's one of our oldest rescued residents, he is still very much spicy.
Yes.
And you've been
a spicy boy.
And you've been with him through the years, helping out in a variety of ways, caretaking, helping us with getting his operant conditioning program, so we can identify and be proactive about health concerns. So definitely a cat that's special to you, and understandably so. All right, and I have for the last question, this has been such a blast, everyone, and we'll give a final goodbye too. But what is the least favorite part of their workday?
Oh man. My least favorite part.
Is it, filling tubes for 150 cats and their different medicines?
No,
is it,
there's a couple things that I would
picking up an extra.
You said you didn't like doing this the other day, so we're gonna go with that.
I mean,
it's not all glitz and glamour here. We do love our jobs, but there's nothing wrong with saying something that's not the most fun part of it. Okay, I think we have it. In 3, 2, 1, turn.
Paperwork.
Computer work.
It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's in the same.
Yes, you told me just last night. You were like, I had a paperwork day and I didn't like it.
It was like 6 hours of a lot of just computer paperwork stuff. I'd probably rather be out with the hog ring players.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I think I do my hog rings and then I'm like, it might be nice if you sit inside, and then I try and do any type of computer work. I'm like, nope. I'm meant to be outside.
Yeah, we're all kind of outdoor cats here, so it seems. Well, that was so fun, Katrina and Elyse.
You didn't ask many questions on Katrina.
Well, it was kind of. I'm switching off each interview, so we got to participate in the game and have fun. But for a time standpoint, I already see I went way over the time that I thought I was going to hit. But thank you from our producer just out of frame here, Olivia. But no, it was a blast. Katrina and Elyse, thank you guys for taking a second out of your caretaking day. Katrina, extra kudos because we hustled and got some Valentine's Day enrichment early this morning because we knew we'd be busy today. So you're shuffling things around to help with me. So a big extra thank you for that. But hey, the week is young. Today is just Monday. We're going to be falling into love with the two staff members all week at 1 p.m. Central Time, and getting to learn more and hear more insight about their positions here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, how thankful we are to have these types of young professionals working for our rescues, and how fortunate for you all to be watching over us here at the Sanctuary.
Indeed.
Well, cool. Well, any final goodbyes, Katrina and Elyse? You want to wave to our supporters or anything like that? I can hand you the microphone.
Oh, another microphone.
Oh.
That'd be
I
awesome.
appreciate
everybody that
Exactly.
follows us and supports us, because we really can't do the work without you guys.
Yes, thank you guys for all of your
much.
support.
Well, thank you, Katrina, Elyse. Everybody had a blast, and I certainly did, and we're looking forward to hearing from more of the staff members. Thank you, everyone.